Morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It's a beautiful morning today and I'm on the coast. The sea is over that way, over these sand dunes, so I'm running by the coast today, which is lovely. It's sunny, feels like temperature's about 4 degrees, so it's really nice running conditions for a change. I am probably a little bit overdressed in terms of my winter running gear, but nonetheless I'm not complaining. And it's Wednesday Wellbeing today, where we discuss all things mindset and mental health related. So today's topic is the power of positive framing and how a positive mindset can really help you on your journey. So as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So, the power of the positive mind and how you can use positive framing to kind of help you on your journey. Now, I've done a lot of reading up on this topic, and it's something that interests me considerably, and understanding the power of the mind. Now, I'll be the first to confess that not too long ago, I was very kind of anti-mindset hacks, pure and simply because it's perhaps naivety, and perhaps I didn't understand it fully enough. And there's a lot of people, Tony Robbins in particular, does a lot on the positive mind and the power of a positive mindset. I read a book called Psycho-Cybernetics and the Power of the Mind, and it's become more and more apparent that the mindset is a really, really powerful tool, and it can work for you or against you. And it's obviously far more beneficial having it work for you. So what do we mean by this? Well, this comes to the kind of rule of opposing forces, really. That whatever you slice and dice, whatever you come across in life, there's a positive force behind it, and on the counter side there's a negative force. And we all have a subconscious decision of what we focus on. And as human beings, we worry a lot. We're often quite negatively minded, and there's so many people that will focus their attention on the negative side of things. And what we mean by that is the things that you worry about. So the problem specific. Okay, if there's a problem, people worry about it. If there's an issue, people worry about it. And you're focusing on the kind of a negative aspect. On the flip side, there's a problem exists, but you can focus all your attention on the potential solution, which is a proactive, positive way of looking at something. So you've positive framed a potentially negative situation, you've turned into a positive experience in terms of your focus is on the positive side as opposed to the negative side. And it's really, really important you understand that there is a positive side to absolutely everything. And I'll just go past these people 1 second. And the big one in particular, I was watching a Tony Robbins documentary, and there was this lady who came across and gave the worst story you could possibly imagine, basically, and he managed to find a positive outcome to this and change this individual's life. Now, I am conscious that it could have been a little bit staged and all that side of things when it comes to TV documentaries, but if it was, the actress was pretty unbelievable. But nonetheless, it was an Eastern European lady who came across to America. She was suicidal. She came as a last chance saloon. Okay, she'd been abused throughout her childhood and sexually abused, raped multiple times. Horrendous story. You know, her life was just one horrendous experience after another. And she said, "Look, this is last chance saloon. I'm ready to go. I don't want to live this life anymore." And Tony Robbins kind of was speaking to her about it. Let me just go past these people 1 second. And he basically said to her, he talked to her about, you know, you can look at it from a negative perspective or you can look at it from a positive. And there was almost gasps in the audience. How can you make this story, this experience, into anything positive? It just looks, there's the beach over there, by the way, it's beautiful if you haven't seen it. And it was it was really poignant that he said, look, you know, he absolutely fully appreciates the turbulent life that she's had and the negativity that surrounds it, and this aura of negative energy. And he said, you know, you could look at this as a big negative, and you could look at this and you could end your life, and that is an option that you are presented with at this moment in time. Or you could look at things from a different angle and say, do you know what, if this has happened to me, there's going to be thousands and thousands of millions possibly of other people that are experiencing the same. And sorry, I'm running down a busy road at the moment. And with your experience, surely you can possibly help those people and save those people from a similar outcome that you're experiencing. And it took her a while for her to process this. And it was basically using her negativity, you know, flipping it around, and then her using it as a positive way to help others that are experiencing similar lives or stories that she had done. And she came away from that, and I think I remember when I watched it at the time, I did look her up, and I think she started this foundation and this charity of helping, you know, women like her who had been through traumatic experiences and looked at ways and means she could help them. And she had this kind of support charity in place. And the positivity that she'd made on so many people's lives was pretty heartwarming. And when you think, at that period of time, she was a stone's throw away from taking her life. But now, a few years on, she's had such a positive and profound impact on so many other people's lives because she looked at the things from the positive side of the coin. And even with a story like that, there was a way to package it up in a positive way and use it for the greater good without sounding too cheesy. So, you know, the other easy analogy here is that you see a half full glass. Is it half full or is it half empty? And I almost guarantee you that the vast majority of people will say that it's half empty. And, you know, my nearest and dearest would say it's half empty. And I started off by saying it's half empty, but I've managed through the process of time and education to be able to realise that there is another side and to focus more of my attention on that other side. And as a result, I mean, I have to be careful here. I'm reading Donald Trump's autobiography at the moment, and although it's a very controversial topic, and you know, I don't support him in any way, shape or form, but I purchased this, I think, before he became the president of the United States, and I was always intrigued to understand his business brain. So yeah, I'm not a supporter. I did have the book a long time ago, but I'm reading it and interested to kind of see his views, and because he's so extreme, and it's actually a really interesting read. But one of the things he says is that, you know, he's been through some hard times, like pretty much every one of us out there, you know, the ups and the downs of life. And if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, it's a roller coaster. He's been close to rock bottom, and you know, I can empathise. I've been close to rock bottom, obviously on different scale, but the general concept that he kind of said was that, you know, problems exist. If you focus all your attention on the problem, that's the negative side of the equation. And if you do that, you're going to end up with all your energy. We only have a certain amount of energy, mental energy, in the form of attention, and how much attention we can give to certain things in our lives. And unfortunately, problems and negative energy suck the energy away from you. And that's why people procrastinate, that's why people get into this kind of entrepreneurial seizure, and they can't move. And he said there's two ways of looking at it. You could spend all your energy focusing on the problem, which is negative, which creates worry, anxiety, stress, and all that side of things. Or you can say, look, there's a problem here, now what are we going to do about it? And focus all your attention on the potential solution, or driven to find that solution. And that's how he conducts himself. And I think that resonated really true with me, because absolutely, you can sit and worry and stress about something that you can't control. It's happened, you know, the reality is it's happened. You can't change it now, but what you can do is you can change what's moving forwards. You can't change what's happened or in the past tense, but you can change what's moving forwards. So focus on what you can control, what you can. Don't worry about stuff you can't, because it's just wasted energy, because it's not going to make a blind bit of difference. And I think that's the concept he was trying to explain, and that resonates with me. So be solutions focused as opposed to problem focused, and solutions is a more proactive, positive, focused experience than oh no, something's happened that's really bad, oh no, this has happened, and dissecting every aspect of what the problem actually is. Okay, you might need to analyse it to find the solution, but you can overanalyse a problem and it just ends up creating more and more pain for you as an individual. So this is kind of where I'm going, and this is the whole concept of positive framing. Whatever the situation is, there is a positive frame that you need to be aware of, and it's quite often it's relatively easy to find. And the more people are conditioned in this outlet, it keeps you moving forwards and progressing. If you focus too much on problems and issues in a negative mindset, you freeze, you worry, you clam up, all these types of experiences. Whereas if you're focused on finding the solution, you're still moving forwards. And I think that's the big underlying message here that people need to kind of understand. So I hope this episode's been useful. It's something I've done a lot of learning from, and I'll go into more detail on the power of the positive mind in separate episodes. This is quite a high level one, but when you have a really positive mind and you're so focused on stuff and you understand the power of the mind, there's some crazy things that can kind of happen with how you can visualize things in the future, and how the visualization of that in that process can kind of result in enhanced results further down the line. And this is all from a book I read called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's kind of out there, and a lot of it was like, this is even too much to me, but there were a couple of key points that I took from that book, which again is really, really important to understand, but I'll do kind of the breakdown of that in a separate episode. So to summarize the kind of positive framing is understand that every given situation or event in life, there is a positive side and a negative side, the rule of opposing forces. And human nature generally draws us towards the negative side. But as a result of negative energy, we only have a certain amount of energy, attention, that we can focus on things throughout a given period of time. And negative aspects suck the energy away from you, so that you kind of freeze, nothing happens. If you focus on the positive side and the solution and the proactive response, then often you can continue moving forward in a productive, positive manner. That means you drive forward, you don't freeze when these problems happen, because these problems and issues happen for everybody. I think that the key is the people that deal with them in a positive framed way were the ones that solve them quicker. And I've said this often, that entrepreneurship is about problem solving, and the most successful entrepreneurs out there are the ones that can solve problems quickest and most efficiently, and that's because of the power of positive framing. So hope that's useful. As always, if you've got any questions on this stuff, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger question, I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. If this is irrelevant to you, no drama, just unfollow me. It'll stop cluttering up your social feeds. But before you do go, you don't have to unfriend me, just unfollowing me will do that. But do check out the Runpreneur YouTube channel, as I do a different topic on every day of the week. So just because today's topics may not be relevant, tomorrow or the day after might be very, very relevant. So do check that out. Completely free resource, and everything's catalogued nice and neatly by topic, so it should be easy to find stuff that's relevant to you. And all that's left to say is that the Runpreneur blog was set up to help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome the emotions of stress, which if not dealt with, evolve to overwhelm, which if not dealt with can evolve to anxiety and kind of panic attacks and mental health related issues. And it's by using exercise, or in my case running, as a release mechanism to kind of relieve those pressures, daily or weekly pressures in the form of stress. If you control that and you release the stress on a regular basis, you maintain clarity and focus on what's happening, and you continue to move forward. If you don't have that release mechanism, the stress will build and build and build, like pressure builds in the pipe, It evolves to overwhelm, where you start freezing, thinking, oh no, I'm overwhelmed, what do I do? And then if you don't deal with overwhelm, it will evolve to anxiety, which when you start getting panic attacks and you start having anxiety attacks and all these things that affect your mental health. And it can be simply resolved by understanding the need for a release mechanism. And you know, I've been there, and I've lost multiple businesses because of my inability to manage these emotions. I've lost multiple business partners, and I've almost been bankrupt because of this. So I have been to the rock bottom places associated with mismanagement of these emotions. And there's no coincidence that since I've started this running vlog, and I have this release mechanism that I do every day now, that I've made more progress in the last 8 months than I have in the previous 4 years. So that's pretty conclusive evidence. And you know, so having this is so important. So my pledge to you is that if you are somebody who's struggling with this, just reach out, drop me a message. We'll jump on a call and I'll talk you through some of the things that I do. Hopefully some of them are transferable to what you do and how you can kind of make a really positive impact on your life. And there's no catch here at all. I'm not selling you anything, okay? It's just trying to give you a helping hand, because I wouldn't wish what I've been through on my worst enemy. So if I can help others avoid that, it's been entirely worthwhile. And I said when I started this, if this vlog helps just one entrepreneur or saves one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So reach out, there is help available. You just have to, you know, swallow your entrepreneurial pride and realise that help is there. You just have to be prepared to ask for it. So many have taken me up on this, and many have taken me up on this and have made positive steps on their lives, and hopefully many more will do so as well. But all that's left to say is that if you like this episode, please remember to give it a like, a comment and a subscribe. If you want to see similar content, do check out the playlist link on my YouTube channel. And as always, I'll leave you with stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.